and dying in your beds many years from now, would you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom?
Hello, thanks for watching. This is going to be a tutorial for a simple tartan design. Okay, so you're going to start off by mapping out a simple checkerboard pattern over the whole area. Don't worry too much about accuracy at this point though, as you'll be painting over most of this later. The checkers are really just to give you a rough guide of where you want the colours to go, so that you get them in the right sequence. So with that in mind, make sure your paint is quite thin so that it's easier to paint over it later on. So next we'll paint in the green lines. Just pick a random square on your grid and paint a line across the model from that point. Once you've done that, paint another line, this time perpendicular to the previous one. Every other green line should be separated by 3 squares. So starting from a green square, just count 3 boxes across, and on the 4th box, paint another line parallel to the last one. The green lines have left you with some boxes consisting of 9 squares. Paint the 4 corners of each of these a bright red, as you can see from the diagram. For sections like this, where there's only say 2 or 3 boxes, you have to visualise where the rest of the pattern would be and then fill in the squares relative to where you are in the design. Okay, so mix up a slightly darker red. Here I've used a 1-to-1 mix of the two paints that are shown on the screen. And then with that, just fill in the rest of the squares. So any white squares that you see, just fill them in. As you're doing this, try your best to clean up the sides of any adjacent squares. Alrighty, so you're going to reinforce the light green colour now. Just paint every square that's adjacent to the brightest red colour. I'm showing that on the diagram there, just in case you're unclear. Okay, so grab a slightly darker green colour this time, and we're going to paint every square that's adjacent to the darker red colour. Right, so we're down to our last colour. This time we're using our darkest green colour, and we're going to paint the squares where the green lines intersect. So here's how it should look so far. I think these guys approve. Okay, so here's where things start to get a bit difficult. So just make a glaze with RHINOX hide. You want to thin it with about 6 to 7 parts water. You can see that I'm testing the consistency on my nail. So that's about how thin you want it. Carefully line alongside the green stripes in both directions. Leave a small gap between your line and the stripe. The effect you're looking for is to have the brown line, but to be able to see each colour underneath it. So to do this, you're going to glaze several times, building up the colour until it gets as dark as you would like it. So now we're essentially going to do the same thing, except you're going to line where the squares meet, as you can see in the diagram. Put a little dot of colour at the 4 intersections around the darkest green square. So I actually forgot a step here when I was filming this. You're supposed to glaze with some armour brown once you finish all these like lines and detailing. So you just glaze with armour brown into the recesses, building up the shadow before the final step. You can see the paint in the background on the table. I've no idea why I didn't use it. So just imagine I've done that. It's not 100% necessary, but it does give like quite a good finish to it. I'll need to go back and do that at some point. Okay, so for this step it's similar to when you were glazing with the RHINOX hide. So this time you're going to take an off-white colour and thin it down a fair bit, and then glaze in lines along the centre of each of the green lines. For the last step, just simply dot the white lines where they intersect over the darkest green squares. So if you've made it this far in the video, congratulations. I thought I'd put a little bonus footage at the end. These are the finished figures for a commission that I'm working on at the moment. I think they came out really well. I've got 3 more to finish. Hopefully they end up just as good. But if you've enjoyed this video, subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.